The whole world runs on copywriting. Literally, copywriting is essential to every single business, especially in the digital era. Without copywriting, nothing would be sold. It is the way to communicate between a business and a consumer. Is everything that people say about copywriting true though? A lot of people put copywriting on a huge pedestal, and it almost seems to be too good to be true. Like, are you telling me that I'm just gonna write stuff and I'm gonna make like thousands of dollars a month? The reality is that copywriting is not too good to be true, is absolutely realistic. It's a valuable skill and it's not as hard to learn as you may think, as long as you're willing to put the time into it. A lot of people just think that they magically get good at things, like they read one book and that's it, you're already on your way to be a millionaire. That's not the reality. Just like anything else, you need to put time and attention into it. It doesn't just happen by itself. However, the payoff is great and totally worth the commitment. And everything you hear about it is true. It is a highly valuable skill. It gives you a lot of freedom. It's in demand. You can work on a monthly retainer basis with clients, which kind of takes away from the instability of freelancing. You might not be making six figures at the beginning. However, you can transition from your full-time job into copywriting in just a few short months if you really put your head down and focus. Essentially, copywriting is just about communicating with the reader. It's super intentional and lean, and it kind of reminds me of poetry. Like, no word in sales copy is wasteful. Like, everything has a purpose, every comma, every full stop. And also, just like in poetry, there really are no rules. The message generally is just very condensed and powerful, and it communicates very clearly. And essentially, copywriting is writing one to many, which means that it allows businesses to sell at a big scale as opposed to having to do one-on-one sales calls with everyone. And the way you as a copywriter understand the audience is simply through market research and audience research. So that's kind of the overview of copywriting. Now, the question you might be asking right now is, how much can you get paid when you get started and as you progress? Now, honestly, I do believe that you can pretty much get paid as much as you want. You can make this a very lucrative business. You just have to be really smart about how you do things. For example, if you really want to build wealth off of copywriting, you would be striking royalty deals or taking shares in companies as opposed to just kind of getting paid for one-off projects. You would also be looking for commission-based projects, obviously with businesses that will be worth it. You would also be looking at obviously charging and demanding higher retainers. But essentially, it all comes down to how you present yourself as a copywriter and what kind of businesses you work with and how you negotiate the terms of your work. But at the same time, I want to mention that, okay, it's not unusual to hear of copywriters who have shares in multiple companies and are literally millionaires. But at the same time, it's not unusual to hear of copywriters who are struggling to make ends meet. Just recently, I had a friend of a friend reach out to me who said that she was struggling to find clients and to sustain her copywriting business, even though she's had more than a decade of experience in the field. So I do believe that, yes, it just comes down to how you play your cards and how smart you're going to be with the way you run your freelancing business. What does a copywriter do? So copywriting essentially is the fun sister of writing because there are no rules. You're not writing like boring research papers, and you can have a lot of fun with it. As a copywriter, a huge part of your role will be doing market research and audience research, coming up with offers, the strategy, the actual writing, editing, as well as running your freelancing business and whatever that entails. So for example, client acquisition, client management, payment management. So there's a lot of admin, there's a lot of writing, and there's also a lot of research and planning and strategizing. And not to omit the fact that obviously you'll be continuously developing your skills. A part of your week will always be reading that new book or revisiting the old book that you've read or taking a course or practicing or whatever. Right now, and I've been doing this for 6 years, I spend most of my day writing. Then a small part of it is speaking to clients and communicating with the people that are involved in my business and learning more about copywriting so that I can keep on progressing. And that's pretty much it. Now, obviously, I have other projects like this YouTube channel and some other stuff. But when it comes down to actually client work and copywriting, that's pretty much what it looks like. How do you actually learn copywriting. Listen, I have a copywriting course, and this is going to sound weird, but I don't think that you need to buy a copywriting course, okay? I think that courses are a convenience thing, because someone like me, or me in this situation, I gathered all the information and my experience. So like I have the copywriting information plus my own twist on it with my personality, my teaching style, etc. And then I went ahead and spent like, I think it took me like 3 months to put the course together with more than like 20 hours of content to teach you. Now, you don't have to pay me for that. You can go and do it yourself. Obviously, it's going to cost you more time and it's going to be like frustrating and stressful, whatever. But no, you don't need a course. You might just get away taking a few books and really just reading into them deeply, and gathering information and kind of looking at copywriting in the real world to create a picture of what it is and how to get good at it. And the rest of it would just be doing it over and over again. So developing a daily writing habit. In other words, if you want to learn alone, the way to do it, and the only way to do it, is seek out information, digest it, reflect on it, put it into practice over and over again. And I recommend that you always ask yourself how you can do better. So as you're going through the process of learning and as you're putting the repetitions in with daily writing, look back at your work and ask yourself, okay, how can I do better? Based on the new information that I just read today, looking back at my work from, the previous day, how could I do better? How could I improve my writing? How could I make it more engaging? Whatever. And then obviously you need to stay very consistent. Don't be that person that gives up after a month or two, because that's not how you're going to succeed. The only way to succeed is to actually just stick at it every single day. And trust me, I've wanted to give up copywriting plenty of times. However, I was always very well aware that if I do that, I'm never going to succeed, because I've done it in the past where I would pick something up, like a new job, a new hobby or whatever, and then because I drop it, I never actually succeed. But the things that we stick with, we always succeed with them, or we're redirected to a better path, but not out of the energy of giving up, but more out of the energy of like, wow, this is a good opportunity for me. So just to summarize, how are you going to learn copywriting? You're going to seek out knowledge, whether it's through YouTube videos like mine, through courses, books, whatever. Then the second thing would be to practice the things that you learn. So daily writing, that's the only way. And then the third thing would be reflecting on your work. So as you're learning, as your mind is expanding, you're going back to the things that you'd written and you're reflecting on what you did and how you could do better. And then the last thing is just stay consistent. Every single day, just show up. Don't even give yourself the thought or the idea of, oh, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, whatever. No. Just show up every single day, and trust me, in 30 days, your life is going to look completely different. All right, so I hope that I answered most of your copywriting questions in this video. It was kind of chaotic, but I was just addressing all the different things that I've heard from people over time. Now, if you want to stay in touch with me, I do send out like daily emails where I include a lot of helpful information about copywriting, and just helps you keep copywriting top of mind. The link is in the description below. I also run a community where I send out bi-weekly copywriting practicals so that you can get better quicker. The link is also in the description below. Let me know if you have more copywriting questions. Obviously, I'm here to answer them. And don't forget to subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video.